Hello, and welcome to the stream on a very hot day in the UK. It's the record most hottest June in record. My brain is sort of boiling in its own juices a little bit, which might explain why this is the sixth time I've tried to go live in the last sort of 40 minutes or so. I haven't managed to. Apologies, that's very loud. I haven't managed to work it out yet, but I think now we are live. I'll just double check, see if I can see it. Oh, glory. Right, here we are. Release day. The previous time, I actually sorted out all the settings, what I thought I did, just 10 minutes ago, and I've just done my whole thing that I want to do today, and I realised I was streaming on private. So yeah, I feel like really stupid for doing that. But anyway, I guess that was just my rehearsal. So here we go. Today is release day. I'm releasing a track called The Old Block, and it's out on all platforms. It's out on streaming services, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon. It's on YouTube Music if you're a YouTuber. And at 2 o'clock my time, which is about an hour and 18 minutes from now, I have a YouTube video scheduled to drop, which is a behind the scenes showing me recording the track, playing the guitar and the saxophone, and it's in this very spot. My tripod for that camera's over there, so you get to see what this wall here looks like rather than the door. But yeah, The Old Block, it's out today. It's my first independent release for about 6 months. So this year I've been focusing on doing a lot of label releases, following on from last year when I did a lot of independent releases, and this year I'm going a different way, so I'm doing a lot more label releases, which sort of helps with that marketing and playlist campaign. You get a lot more support on those. Obviously you give away a portion of the track to do so. So this stream is working. I've got the text from my wife, so happy days. Happy days, glory. That was stressful getting that up. I think it's too hot to be doing this. But the track's out today, so today is the day we do the live stream. So yeah, The Old Block. What I'm going to do, it's not going to be a particularly long stream today, but I'm going to talk about the name of the track and the inspiration behind it, the approach to how I wrote and recorded it, and then as you can see, I've got the little QuickTime player here up, and we're going to have a quick listen. So yeah, that's more or less it. Here we go. Here is the album artwork, The Old Block. So I took this picture. If you've seen some of my other artworks, you may know I am a amateur photographer. I've got a few different lenses and stuff for my camera, but I don't have a huge budget for it all, so I've got lots of like vintage lenses and stuff I've bought on eBay, and you can get some really cool vintage lenses and adapt them to a modern camera. However, if you're buying cheap lenses, it means you're buying lenses that don't have autofocus, which is fine if your subject doesn't move very much. But this photo was taken at the St Aidan's RSPB Bird Reserve in West Yorkshire. And so I show up there. I've got a really nice zoom lens, takes really nice pictures, and a vintage one. But unlike every other photographer there, I'm the only one without autofocus. So I'm just like furiously trying to manually focus the lens, and the birds are flying everywhere. And I talk about showing up with a knife to a gunfight, or whatever that saying is. But anyway, that's one of the few images from that day that I like. I took maybe like 500, and I like about 25 of them. So that's the artwork for The Old Block. The name, The Old Block, where does the name come from? So it's kind of got two meanings. For anyone who's been following my social media, I mean, not that I've been sharing images, but I've been talking about the fact that I became a dad about 6.5 months ago. So we've got a lovely little boy. I wrote this track back in February, so he would have been about two months old, maybe getting on for 3 months old. Particularly when he was a newborn, he looked a lot like me. There was a really, really strong resemblance. There still is now, but right now he looks like me, and he looks like his mother, which is obviously lovely. But especially when he was a newborn, it was unmistakably my son, and so he was a chip off the old block, which is one of the meanings behind the track title. If anyone is a parent and also creates, or even if you're just a parent, it's hard to sort of, when you're naming stuff, or they just dominate your thoughts. So when you're there trying to name an instrumental piece of music, all roads lead home, all roads lead to the baby. So he's chip off the old block. The other meaning to the old block is when I was writing this track, my wife's old high school burned down. A couple of kids burned it down it was the night before they went back to school after a holiday, after a break, and a couple of kids burned it down, and so her old block, I think it was the old science block. Joe, if you're in the chat, jump in and tell us what the name of the block was that burned down. The old block, the other meaning. Right, so as I've mentioned before, at 2 o'clock today, I do have a full YouTube video coming out, which will show how I played the guitar part. So at the beginning of this year, I'm not a very good guitarist. Am I a better guitarist or am I a better photographer? I don't know. I'm not very good at either. I'm a lot better at the saxophone. That's my strength. The start of this year, I decided I was just going to put the guitar into an open tuning and sort of just stick with it and let that sort of limitation be the starting point to like write new ideas and just sort of like really get into it. So I chose open G. I don't really remember how I chose it. I think it was just maybe like the first one on the list, and I just thought, try this one, and then I never looked back. So that was about 6 months ago, maybe more now. Maybe it was before. Maybe it was in late 2025. But anyway, I've really enjoyed it actually, and I've definitely got what I wanted out of doing that, which means that it's just so easy and quick to come up with like cool little ideas and little like chordy things. So this track was recorded, the guitar was in an open G tuning. It's on, there's a capo on the 3rd fret, so the tune's technically in B flat or kind of like G minor, depending on how you hear it. But it's an open G tuning, and you can see from the video, you'll be able to see all the guitar shapes I'm doing in the finger picking. So that's where the track started. It started with the guitar. And it's like it built on this guitar finger picking thing. So there's like 3 sections to it, and so like off the bat, it's kind of got this like folky country sort of thing going on. I'd say the finished track is like a sort of folk fusion, lo-fi, chillhop kind of thing, and obviously like by the end of it, it's got saxophones all over it. So that's where that sort of like fusion thing comes on. But it started with the guitar, and then from there, when I built the track around that guitar part, once I'd recorded it, like all my choices were influenced by how that guitar sounded, meaning that like I chose drum sounds that kind of had a sort of organic acoustic flavor to them, and I programmed that, and then I played. You can't actually see on the camera, but my keyboard's right here. Played a piano part, some synth parts, a bass part, and then finally the saxophones were the last thing to be added. So there's a saxophone melody and some harmonies, and then for the final maybe third of the track, it's kind of like an improvised solo for the outro. So yeah, that's how I wrote it. There's also a little bit of me singing on the track. It's not very loud, and I'm kind of just doubling the melody and singing on this very microphone. So if you wanted to, you could check it out and see if you can hear the singing. It's auto-tuned a lot. There's a lot of auto-tune on it. It's the only thing I don't auto-tune anything. Like, everything is kind of quite raw and quite sort of like as it was recorded on all my stuff. But I have to, if I do any vocals, I have to auto-tune them because it's just shocking. Right. Yeah. So it was open G tuning. Trying to think if there's anything else sort of noteworthy when I recorded it. I don't think so. So, yeah, very shortly, I'm going to play it. All right, here we go. I'm streaming this audio through my interface into the streaming software. So by the point it gets to you, it probably won't be as sort of like good quality as if you wanted to stream it yourself or watch it on YouTube Music or on the video that I've mentioned before. But yeah, just to give you a flavour of what I'm talking about, here is The Old Block by Dom Zaruga, out today. There we have it, The Old Block by myself. It's out on all platforms. It's out on YouTube Music, and as I mentioned, I've got a YouTube video dropping in an hour and 6 minutes, so it's 2 o'clock UK time, showing me record everything. So check that out if you've enjoyed it today. Thanks, Joe. It was N Block that burned down. That's where she learned science and social studies. R.I.P. Awesome. Thank you for joining me today. Apologies if everyone's notifications were going off and then the video wasn't there. That was just me failing to go live. But yeah, check out The Old Block. Thanks for joining. Have a great day.